Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 387 based on novel. So let's start. In this battle, Wang Lin had shocked Daoist Water many times. Now Daoist Water saw the strange meteorite that had charged into the ancient star system countless years ago and was refined by the sovereign. This meteorite was composed of an unknown metal and was refined by the sovereign for 10,000 years into 108 seven-colored nails, named the seven-colored God Void nails. Rumor has it that this unknown metal meteorite was extremely mysterious. The sovereign wanted to use a time spell to see where it was from. When he was about to succeed, a mysterious force interrupted him and he was almost seriously injured. However, even so, because the sovereign was so powerful, he was able to see a blurry past of the meteorite when he was interrupted. The world was born and turned into the ancient star system. Then it was split into the inner and outer realms. However, in this vast universe, it seems the ancient star system wasn't the only one. In the beginning of the world, the ancient star system wasn't the only one created. This meteorite seems to have come from another star system that was equal to the ancient star system but is separated by an eternal gap. This was something the sovereign said after he saw through time, and he didn't hide this matter but declared it to the world. Therefore, the seven-colored God Void nails reputation soared. All the powerhouses knew of them. Daoist Water had personally witnessed the sovereign use them against his master. Daoist Water wasn't the main force in that battle, but when his master was studying the heaven-defying bead in closed-door cultivation, the sovereign used an extremely vicious treasure refined with the help of the ancient celestial realm cultivators to injure his master. Then the three lords of the ancient star system and several ancient celestial realm cultivators began a life and death battle against his master. What the sovereign used were the 108 seven-colored God Void nails. At this moment, when he saw the seven-colored God Void nail, he was shocked and quickly retreated. He was well aware of the power of this nail. If an ordinary third-step cultivator at the Nirvana Void stage had a nail pierce their body, they would suffer serious damage. These nails weren't made to kill cultivators, but to specifically kill third-step cultivators. This strangeness of the seven-colored nails was something not even the sovereign had figured out. He only knew that the nails were strong against someone strong and weak against someone weak. The higher the cultivation level, the greater damage it would inflict. It was impossible to figure this strange aspect of the nails out without knowing the origin of the meteorite. Nirvana Shatterer cultivators could survive a hit from the nails, such as Sima, who had come up with a method of breaking free, or Wang Lin, who had a body powerful enough to force it out. However, it was extremely difficult for third-step cultivators to force it out. After reaching the third step, there would be a strange change in the body. This change was an increase in power but also a bizarre change. However, this change was stopped by the seven-colored nail. The higher the cultivation level, the more difficult it was to break free from the seven-colored nail. This matter was very strange and couldn't be explained. Daoist Water was first shocked by the large mosquito herd, then he met the woman in silver. The moment he saw her, he immediately recognized her. The shock caused his mind to enter a rare state of chaos. While his mind was a mess, he didn't think a mere ant like Wang Lin could break free from his stop spell and use the seven-colored nail. All of this caused Daoist Water's expression to change greatly. The seven-colored nail swept through the strange space and rushed at Daoist Water's divine sense. After it tore his divine sense to shreds, it charged out from the storage space and headed directly for the area between Daoist Water's eyebrows. He was too close, so Daoist Water retreated like crazy, but the seven-colored nail was also fast. It appeared and released a roar as it broke through the world, appearing between Daoist Water's eyebrows in a flash. There was a thunderous bang as the seven-colored nail stabbed 1 inch into Daoist Water's skull. It rotated like a drill as it attempted to enter his brain and destroy his Dao. Daoist Water's face was deathly pale as his hands formed a seal, attempting to resist the seven-colored nail. However, he had underestimated Wang Lin once more. He wanted to take out the woman from the coffin and touch Wang Lin's bottom line. Li Muwen was Wang Lin's bottom line. If Wang Lin was already crazy facing the life and death crisis, Then when Daoist Water was going to take out Li Muwen, he became insane. This kind of insanity was no different from being stabbed by the seven-colored nail. This was no longer a fight for his life, but something even more important. Under this insanity, there was also the blood from the iron sword that had fused with Wang Lin's origin soul. This was the blood of a 9-star ancient god and also the blood of the heavens. When it fused with Wang Lin's origin soul, his body began to burn, his origin soul began to burn, and even his soul began to burn. It was as if there was an indescribable force erupting from his body. Popping sounds echoed as the stop spell around him collapsed. Wang Lin charged out with a roar as his ancient god stars rotated and his star of law appeared as well. Holding the trident, Wang Lin charged straight at Daoist Water. His eyes were red and the red light extended several feet out from his eyes. Popping sounds came from his body like crazy. It was impossible to tell if it was his heartbeat or his bones colliding. Even Daoist Water felt shocked when he saw this. In particular, the monstrous red light coming from Wang Lin's body made his pupils shrink. He took a step back and his speed suddenly increased while retreating. What he feared wasn't Wang Lin's spell, but the red light inside Wang Lin's body. At this moment, all his power was being used to resist the seven-colored nail between his eyebrows, so he had no time to pay attention to Wang Lin. His eyes lit up, and the speed of his retreat could collapse the void. How could Wang Lin let him retreat? All his preparation, all his spells, and all his treasures were used to create this situation. If the enemy had time to resist the seven-colored nail and suppress it, he would without a doubt die. The moment Daoist Water retreated, Wang Lin charged out like crazy. The blood that he had devoured began to burn, and he was like a burning meteor. As he rushed, he threw the trident in his hand. His body trembled as he used all the power in his body on the trident. The trident turned into a vicious dragon that charged at Daoist Water. The seven-colored light between Daoist Water's eyebrows shined brightly and was rotating rapidly to break into his skull. However, Daoist Water was using all his power as a third-step cultivator to resist it. The dragon formed by the trident closed in, and as Daoist Water retreated, his eyes lit up. Even with the seven-colored god void nail, it's useless. Let me show you the gap between third-step cultivators and ants like you. There was indifference in Daoist Water's eyes as he waved his right hand. A portion of his power gathered in his right hand. I wanted to search your soul, but since you're looking for death, this old man will fulfill your wish. Carefree extinction Dao, extinguish everything before him. Daoist Water's right hand formed a seal and pushed forward. This palm caused a thunderous roar and a blast of air gathered from all directions within 10 million kilometers. White lines began to form. If one looked from far away, they would clearly see that a giant diamond shape was forming within the 10 million kilometer area. The moment the diamond shape appeared, there was a thunderous roar and the diamond rapidly contracted. As it contracted, the shockwave became even more powerful. It was as if the world inside the diamond was separated from the outside, forming an unimaginable pressure. Daoist Water wanted to use this method to squeeze Wang Lin to death. The diamond shape rapidly contracted and soon shrank from 10 million kilometers to 1 million, 100,000, 50,000, 30,000, 10,000. A destructive aura filled the area as the diamond shrank once more to 8,000, 5,000, 3,000, 1,000, 500. Until it was only 1,000 feet wide. It instantly contracted from 10 million kilometers to 1,000 feet. This rapid contraction formed an earth-shattering pressure that could crush all existences in the world. At this moment, this powerful pressure crushed down on Wang Lin and the dragon formed by the trident. Destroy, extinguish, collapse. Daoist Water retreated as words came from his mouth. The moment he spoke, the diamond-shaped lines contracted like crazy toward Wang Lin. It gave off a flash that lit up the entire star field and wrapped around Wang Lin's body. The power of 10 million kilometers of space condensed onto one person was the same as almost a dozen cultivation planets exploding. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the stars and shook the star system. At this moment, the rank 5, 6, 7, and even 8 regions could hear this thunderous rumble. Wang Lin's body suddenly collapsed under this destructive force. His flesh and blood shattered, Even his head exploded. The trident immediately shattered and let out a miserable groan. The soul of the trident died. Absolute power. The might of a third-step cultivator that couldn't be challenged was displayed by Daoist Water. From ancient times, no second-step cultivator could overcome a third-step cultivator. This was almost the same as the law of the heavens. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin's exploded body gave off a demonic red light. Time seemed to reverse as the light gathered, and, like he was being reborn, Wang Lin's body reformed. Rebirth. This is impossible. Daoist Water was stunned for a moment. The demonic red light surrounded Wang Lin's entire body. This red light came from the blood that fused with his origin soul. With the power of this strange blood, Wang Lin was able to reform his body in an instant after collapsing. Not even Wang Lin had time to think about this sudden development. He could clearly feel that the power from the blood was rapidly dissipating. It wouldn't take long for the power of the blood to completely dissipate. However, Wang Lin no longer cared about all of this. Now that his body had reformed, a crazy idea filled his body. He looked at Daoist Water and charged out. As he charged out, his body rapidly changed and he changed into an ancient god that was thousands of feet tall. The 6 stars between his eyebrows rapidly rotated, and the star of law appeared as well. At a glance, he looked like a 7-star ancient god. A crazed aura came from his ancient god body. At this moment, it was as if Wang Lin had devoured countless celestial ascension fruits. He couldn't die, he must not die. He had to kill everything before him no matter the cost. Roar? As Wang Lin roared, he was like a vicious spirit from ancient times. His right hand formed a fist and smashed down on Daoist Water. At the same time, a complex chant came from his mouth. The ancient god clan didn't have many spells, but each one was extremely powerful and not something cultivators could understand. As Wang Lin's words echoed, a powerful vitality force erupted from his body. In this world, nothing could match an ancient god's vitality. Ancient god spell, life exchange. Wang Lin let out a roar and threw a punch. This punch was so earth-shattering that the void before him suddenly collapsed. With this punch, Wang Lin's vitality dissipated rapidly, and the impact in that punch shot straight at Daoist Water. There was a thunderous bang and the entire rank 5 region was about to collapse. Wang Lin's fist collided with Daoist Water's right palm. Bang! Wang Lin coughed out blood and his body was thrown back, but he stopped himself after flying 10,000 feet. He revealed a mad expression and charged out once more. Daoist Water's expression was unchanged, but his right felt slightly numb. He was using all his power to resist the 7-colored nail and had only split off a bit of power, but that palm was enough to destroy a peak Nirvana Shatter cultivator. To exchange life for power, this is only a temporary boost. I want to see how many punches you can throw. As he spoke, Wang Lin had come again and thrown the second punch. As he threw the second punch, a portion of his vitality dissipated. His originally white hair was now grey and the stars between his eyebrows were dimmer. The second punch arrived. The moment it collided with Daoist Water's palm, Wang Lin endured the injury in his body and revealed a bitter smile. Even though he was injured, he threw the third punch, fourth punch, fifth punch, sixth punch, comma. In a flash, Wang Lin threw 10 punches. These 10 punches wasted too much vitality. When the 10 punches landed, the shockwave spread and the entire rank 5 region collapsed. Countless spatial cracks appeared in the rank 5 region, and the cold wind swept the rank 5 region. Wang Lin's hair fell, wrinkles appeared, and he suddenly became old. However, his eyes were still red and gave off a crazed battle intent. Thunderous rumbles continued to echo as the punches continued to fly at Daoist Water. Daoist Water's expression was still the same after the second punch, but after the 6th punch, he pulled his right hand back. He retreated a few steps and spat out fog. He used this fog to resist Wang Lin's remaining punches. Even if you have the body of an ancient god, you can't withstand this kind of spell that expends life. To fight his old man with this kind of spell is laughable. Daoist Water sneered. He had been able to hold off the 7-colored nail between his brows. No matter how hard it drilled, it couldn't break into his skull, but that heart-wrenching pain was still present. The sovereign's seven-colored god void nail is too strange. Fortunately, this child doesn't know how to properly use it. However, it is best to prevent any sudden changes. Daoist Water let out a roar as he erupted his full cultivation in an attempt to force the seven-colored nail out. A majority of Wang Lin's vitality had dissipated from his body. He was like an old man who was near the end and gave off waves of death aura. The stars between his eyebrows were dim and wrinkles filled his body. It seemed like his body was aging rapidly. However, the fire in his eyes became even stronger. He let out a desolate roar and rushed out like a moth flying to a fire knowing he was going to die. How many knew that a moth flying toward a fire sometimes wasn't a yearning for the fire, but the determination to put that fire out? As he rushed out, Wang Lin's right hand formed a fist and waved. Thunderous rumbles replaced all sounds in the world as he threw the 11th punch, 12th punch, 13th punch. Until the 19th punch suddenly erupted. Every single punch was the peak of Wang Lin's cultivation, a powerful blow from an ancient god, all in exchange for his vitality. The thunderous rumbles echoed across the world. Blood came out from Wang Lin's orifices and he was on the brink of death. But those punches didn't stop, and even Daoist Water was moved by this. As the rumbles echoed, Daoist Water's fog resisted it all. Not only did it not collapse, it was about to devour Wang Lin. Unfortunate. If you can last for more than 100 punches, you might be able to injure me while I'm resisting the seven-colored nail. However, 19 punches is your limit, and all the vitality in your body has collapsed. Without even me killing you, you would die in just a moment. Daoist Water's indifferent voice spread out, but Wang Lin could not hear it anymore. His ears were filled with blood and he couldn't hear much. He was very tired and death aura had filled his body. A sense of the end filled his heart, seeming to want to take him far away. Away from this cruel cultivation world, from all this pain. Even the red light in his eyes dimmed, and they were without light. However, just as the fog pushed Wang Lin, he suddenly raised his head and his dimmed eyes shined brightly. Cultivators like us never shrink from a fight. I understand. This battle isn't a battle intent, but the determination to resist even knowing death is coming. Wang Lin revealed a miserable smile as he took a step forward and threw another punch. 20th punch. After that punch, black blood leaked out of the corner of Wang Lin's mouth and he began to laugh. This laugh was filled with the pride of an indomitable spirit that ruled above all living things. Wang Lin, began cultivating at 16 years old. The 21st punch flew out. The fog didn't stop and charged at Wang Lin. I entered the Han Yu sect. Killed Teng Li. The 22nd punch flew out, and the fog suddenly stopped. I escaped to the Sea of Devils and formed my golden core. The 23rd punch. The fog shrank and let out a sharp roar. Reached the nascent soul stage, wiped out the Teng family, shocked planet Suzaku, became the All-Seer's disciple. Wang Lin continued to walk forward as he seemed to mutter to himself while laughing. This punch bombarded like crazy. The 24th, 25th, and 26th punches. The fog burst open and was forced back 30 feet. Yin and Yang stages, 3 realms of nirvana. I faced a lifetime of crisis, never yielded, and killed countless people. The 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th punches. The fog retreated as it roared even more violently. It was frightened and retreated in panic. I have killed countless people since then. It took more than 2,000 years of cultivation to reach where I am now. The 31st punch. 39th punch. I battled the heavens, battled the earth, and today, I battled a third-step cultivator. So what if I die? The 40th, 41st, 42 ND. 53rd punch. The only regret is that I can't resurrect my love, since I'll die with her. But so what? The 54th, 55th, 56th, 64th punches. The fog that was knocked back dissipated into the void. Even if I give up all my vitality, so what? The 65th, 66th, 67th. 75th punch. Blood spewed out from all over his body. He was now covered in blood. His body rapidly shrank and he began to rapidly age. Stiffness filled his body, making his internal organs decay, and his vitality was all gone. In truth, at the 23rd punch, his vitality was used up. The remaining punches all came from the power from the blood that had fused with his origin soul. I walked through the world standing upright. If I die in battle, so what? Wang Lin's voice was hoarse, as if even his voice contained the taste of blood. It could shock the mind of anyone who heard it. The 76th, 77th, 78th, 84th punch. My vitality ran out and I'm about to die, but the punches from this spell aren't over. Flowing time, reverse time 5,000 years. Give me 5,000 years of vitality. Wang Lin looked up and smiled. After 84 punches, he continued to walk forward like a battle celestial walking forward with the determination to die. There was nothing before him that could stop him. There was a rare sign of seriousness in Daoistwater's eyes. For the first time, he felt like the experience this person had was not simple. As Wang Lin spoke, the collapsed void around him turned into a sea, then a giant, stone door appeared. A desolate aura spread out and shrouded Wang Lin. The 85th, 86th, 87th, 100th punch. In this short period of time, Wang Lin had consumed all the power of the blood, all the vitality in his body, and used flowing time to gain 5,000 more years of vitality to complete the shocking 100 punches. This was Wang Lin's strongest 100 punches, this was his entire life. 100 punches. There seemed to be no force in this world that could resist the 100 punches Wang Lin that had used his entire life to throw. These 100 punches contained Wang Lin's endless vitality, his 2,000 years of cultivation, all of his origin energy, and all the power from that mysterious blood from the iron sword. This was a pinnacle of Wang Lin's life. This was the strongest attack he had used with the intent to die. These 100 punches were Wang Lin. Like a moth going at the flame, these punches charged at Daoistwater. A moth flew at the flame to put it out. To use its own body to put out this ancient flame. Daoistwater's eyes became serious and were filled with disbelief. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The ant before him had managed to use vitality to punch 100 times. These were no ordinary 100 punches, they were created by the essence of his entire being. It was brilliant. It gave Daoistwater a powerful sense of danger. If it wasn't for the fact that he was using all his power to resist the seven-colored nail, there would have been no danger. After all, the power of the third step was difficult to imagine. However, right now these 100 punches shocked Daoistwater greatly. Thunderous rumbles turned into an endless storm that swept toward Daoistwater. Daoistwater's eyes lit up as his hands formed a seal and he pointed forward. A giant vortex of water appeared before his chest. The moment it appeared, it shot out like a big mouth ready to devour. The heavens and earth are infinite, water thou devour spell. Daoistwater let out a roar as the huge vortex began to devour everything before it. Thunderous rumbles echoed. The endless rumbles almost caused the rank 6 region to collapse. There was no star fog left, as if a giant hole had appeared within the star fog. As the roar rumbled, Wang Lin's entire body was covered in blood. His heart beat weakly before it suddenly shattered. There was almost no light in his eyes. The collapse from the 100 punches was strong enough to destroy everything. Even someone at the Heaven's Blight stage would die. The shockwave spread out in all directions and swept across the cloud sea. As the shockwave spread out, all the star fog collapsed, all fierce beasts died, and even many wild continents collapsed. Even the rank 6 region suffered the same fate. It was as if a giant hole was opened in the cloud sea. Wind howled from the hole as if a terrifying demon was going to crawl out. Under this bombardment and shockwave, popping sounds echoed around Daoistwater. His hand continued to move and he quickly retreated. The water vortex was pushed back and immediately went back into his body. Daoistwater's clothes exploded and turned into fragments. Even his hair was scattered. His face was pale and blood came out of the corner of his mouth. A third-step cultivator was actually injured. I underestimated him. Since Daoist Water was injured, he could no longer suppress the seven-colored nail. The seven-colored nail shined brightly out, roared once more as it drilled in 3 inches more, breaking his skull. Intense pain washed over him as Daoist Water coughed out blood. The blood turned into countless runes that turned into seals to seal the nail. Good, good. For an unlike you to injure me, even if it was when I was resisting the seven-colored God Void nail, you have shocked the world and can laugh in the afterlife. Daoist Water wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, then monstrous killing intent filled his eyes. He took a step forward toward Wang Lin and raised his right hand. His right hand instantly covered the sky and descended on Wang Lin. You can now die? Even if you are reborn, I'll kill you. Carefree reincarnation Dao. This old man will kill you in 100 reincarnation cycles. I want to see how you will be reborn. Daoist Water's voice was like a cold wind. As he waved his right hand, he seemed to extract all the reincarnation lore in the world and formed his own reincarnation cycle. A giant wheel appeared as his hand moved. There was a howl as it smashed down on Wang Lin. Once Wang Lin was hit by this, he would be destroyed 100 times, and there would be no chance for survival. Just at this instant, a gust of wind tore through everything in this collapsed battleground. Slave Daoist Water, if you kill him, I'll kill you. An ancient voice came from the void and echoed in this battlefield. Water Daoist's body suddenly stopped. He suddenly looked around at the void and his expression became gloomy. Old fellow, you want to stop me? You were sealed by the ancient celestial realm into a stone. They trapped you for 100,000 years to refine you into a magic treasure. Right now you are borrowing the power of the outside star system from the mosquito beasts to survive, yet you want to interfere? You want to stop me? What qualification do you have to stop me? Daoist Water let out a cold snort. He no longer hesitated and his right hand slammed down on Wang Lin. However, just at this instant, the wind turned into a giant hand that reached for the reincarnation cycle that had appeared. Junior slave, back then, you were only a slave before the Lord of the Sealed Realm and had to be respectful toward his old man. Now you have entered the third step but have become extremely arrogant. Even the evil ancient celestials couldn't kill me, they could only seal me for 100,000 years to refine me. You're a mere slave, a frog at the bottom of the well. The ancient voice was calm as the wind hand grabbed the wheel and suddenly pulled. A sharp howl suddenly echoed. Daoist Water's expression changed and his hands formed a seal. Then he pointed and shouted, "Stop spell!" The moment he roared, the hand formed by wind stopped for a moment. It was just for a moment, then popping sounds echoed and it broke free. It grabbed the wheel and mercilessly squeezed. The wheel collapsed and dissipated. Daoist Water's pupils shrank violently and he exclaimed, "It's impossible. You have clearly been sealed. How can you resist my stop spell? I know you absorbed the source origin from the outer star system. You can absorb power from the outer star system. You have some insight." The ancient voice let out a cold snort as the hand formed by the wind reached for Daoist Water. Daoist Water let out a scream as his hands formed a seal and pointed at his chest. His cultivation suddenly exploded and a giant cultivation planet appeared behind him. This cultivation planet contained dense origin energy and gave off powerful vitality. There was enough vitality to match a rank 5 ancient god. Endless mutters come from the cultivation planet. The mutters turned into a strange energy that entered Daoist Water's body. His eyes lit up and he roared, 2 billion yin and yang disciples, roar, roar, roar. Daoist Water pointed at the sky and then quickly pointed 3 times at the wind arm that was reaching towards him. Every time he pointed, the giant cultivation planet behind him would tremble. The shadow of a cultivation planet would appear and fly toward the arm, charging at Daoist Water. When the finger pointed 3 times, 3 large cultivation planet shadows shot at the wind hand. A shocking pressure descended in this void. Just like your original body, these 2 billion yin and yang disciples are neither male nor female waste. The ancient voice sneered. The wind arm didn't stop and charged forward. Rumble, rumble, rumble. 3 loud bangs echoed. The 3 cultivation planet shadows exploded into a destructive aura that rushed at the wind hand. The hand formed a seal that was also made of wind and collided with the destructive force from the 3 cultivation planet shadows. A thunderous rumble echoed. The hand didn't dissipate, but it was heavily damaged. It rushed toward Daoist Water and pressed down between his eyebrows. Old fellow, you're meddling. Your original body can't come, and this is a mere avatar. Die for me, die, die. It was as if something had touched Daoist Water's weak spot. He revealed a hideous expression and his right hand reached out. He pulled the giant cultivation planet and mercilessly threw it. This old man has gathered 2 billion Water Dao disciples to worship for tens of thousands of years to create Joss flames for me. Today I'll destroy 500 million Water Dao disciples to form Joss flames and kill your avatar. Then I'll go to the Wind Celestial Realm and kill your real body. Daoist Water let out a roar as the giant cultivation planet was smashed down by him and collided with the damaged hand. A loud rumble echoed. The moment the cultivation planet smashed down, a powerful force appeared. This was an energy unique to third-step cultivators. It was created from the collapse of 500 million Water Dao disciples. The damaged arm immediately collapsed. Thunderous rumbles echoed. The ancient voice let out a muffled groan as he was injured. The voice and the wind hand disappeared. Old fellow, you coming to stop me means that this ant is important, which makes me want to kill him even more. Now that your avatar has died to the Joss flame of my Water Dao disciples, who can stop me? Daoist Water's expression was extremely hideous. The 7-colored nail was rotating between his eyebrows but couldn't penetrate more than 3 inches. However, the part that entered his skull had begun to melt, causing a hint of madness in Daoist Water. Daoist Water suddenly turned around and charged at Wang Lin. His fingers opened up and he closed in with killing intent. However, just at this moment, a shocking change occurred. A finger made of wind suddenly appeared between Daoist Water's eyebrows and pressed down on the 7-colored nail. Daoist Water's expression changed greatly and he stopped. Countless shadows appeared before him to block it, and he quickly retreated. You're still not dead. This video will end here.